How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Stephen. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I like the Zoom backdrop that you have today.
Yeah, we love the boys. Oh, it's over here. Oh, no, it's over there. Oh, opposite side. There we go. Yes.
Exactly. So I have to start with the most important thing, which is congratulations on your Emmy nominations.
Thank you so much. You know, I was so blindsided and shocked and always forget when that's going to be announced. So it was like Christmas, a complete surprise, and what a great honoring for two fantastic shows. I'm in such great company. We have a wonderful amount of nominations for The Mandalorian as well as Better Call Saul. And so I'm really a tribute to both casts and all of the directors, producers, writers, and networks that allowed me to be a part of both of those shows.
Listen, I love The Boys. I think it was one of my favorite series of last year. I think what Eric Kripke has done with the material is incredible. When you signed on, how much did Eric tell you about the full arc of what he was envisioning for what you'd be doing?
Well, he told me very little, and that's often what happens with writers. Eric and I have a history from working together on Revolution. Prior to this, I ran into him in the studio doing another show up in Canada and chatted with him in the hallway. He started scratching his head and looking at me a certain way that I recognized in that way. And I said to him, without him saying a word, Eric, I know what you're thinking. And I busted out laughing. And he said, well, if you know what I'm thinking, will you do it? I said, Eric, I love you. I'll do anything. See you. Bye. Call my people. So, and that was it. And then I had an idea talking with him on the phone, what kind of person he wanted me to play. But I really thought that I would be coming in and out of the show for an episode or two here or there. But I like the idea that could be the case because when you don't see a character often and you see him and he makes an impression and he has weight and he has grace and aplomb, then you're interested in that character and you want to see him more. And so I knew very, very little. As far as I was concerned, Madeline was at the reins. I was her boss. You meet me. Yeah, I'm the guy that might slide in and out and be possibly in control of the company. And then things started to shift in regard to conversations that Eric would have for me. And he said, look, I just love what you're doing and I want to expand things. So I had no clue that it would become what it is until it piqued my interest as well. See, I'm in agreement with you. I started to watch some of these episodes and started to draw the correlation between what's going on in our show and the kind of camp nature of things, which I first thought when I would read it on the page, a little campy, a little, it feels a little bit like Disney World. But then the writing reflects the essence of what's really important and going on behind these human beings who happen to have these powers. And I thought, oh, okay. And then I started to put together the political, economic ideas behind Vought and what Edgar's really trying to do. And I thought, oh, there's room for me here. There's room to be able to really play. And that's what I love about Kripke, and that's what I love about The Boys. It's a playful show, but yet it's rooted in such very realistic, a realistic world. Like we can make these correlations. Everything is entertainment now. Like we're in an amusement park, we're at Disney World, and these characters that are supposed to being stuffed animals and walking around and entertaining your kids are powerful, dangerous, and have a reality to them that is human. And that's where Stan comes in. He understands that. He understands how to be able to speak to each and every one of his superheroes to allow them to feel empowered, that they could have human feeling. They're a little out of control because they're just finding out what compound V really does in their bloodstream.
Sure. I've seen the first 3 episodes of season 2, and you have a great scene or two with Homelander. And Antony plays him so diabolically. He's so good in the role. Obviously, you are fantastic in the role. What is it like doing some of those scenes with him when you're standing opposite Homelander? Because it's just very well done.
Well, I have utmost respect for Antony, and it wasn't until after I shot this first season of The Boys that I went back and watched a show that I've been wanting to watch for a long time called Banshee. A very different characterization on Antony's part. This particular show, Antony, it's complicated. And I start to really see this man-child. And we have man-children in our government in America. And the fragile nature of his psyche And for me, and I have to get around because I played characters in capes before. This guy walking around looking like he does. So I like to, in my brain, taunt Antony for having to wear that silly jumpsuit that allows him to feel powerful. He's certainly powerful without it. I love the scenes that we have together because I'm able to be, in a way, somewhat fatherly, sometimes teacherly, but very, very calm at his bluster, even though he's so very dangerous. Why? Because I know what he really wants is to be loved. He wants acceptance. Of course he wants power. Who doesn't? But he doesn't have that. So I have to allow him to know power is not his. Stardom could be. Don't you have a premiere to go to? Go and play. You know, what you're doing is play. What I'm doing is trying to run a company.
I have to switch subjects to something else you're on because obviously I loved The Mandalorian. You've gotten to do a lot of cool shit with your job, with all the roles you've done. Is it any better? Is the peak training with a lightsaber? Does it get better than that?
Oh, it doesn't. When you're first, I have to get beyond the excitement of being in such an iconic piece of material, like iconic. Star Wars is iconic. And would I have liked to have been in a Star Wars movie as opposed to the Mandalorian television show? I think my choices are significantly, I think I've made this a significantly correct choice, because what drew me to Star Wars was the mythological aspect of storytelling. And Jon Favreau, in his great visionary way, has educated himself and partnered with David Filoni. So that mythology that was so connected to what George Lucas loved, he was a friend of Joseph Campbell, who wrote the mythological books about the heroes that I have read that allow people to be empowered. So for me, it was an empowering moment. Firstly, to get beyond being a part of the franchise, and then to realize I was going to wield a lightsaber. This is iconic. This is larger than life. How do I then create a character in Moff Gideon that people fear, but also will follow and will listen to? And how do I keep the secrets secret until they deserve to be known? So I've been head over heels at being involved in that particular show.
Do you get in on a lot of the stunts in season 2? What is it like doing stuff like that?
Yes, we have and I don't want to allow you to have any spoilers, but I did all of my stunt work on my own without a lot of rehearsal, even though it's a fairly big budget technological piece with the volume and all the things that are going on. Sometimes that leaves less time to pay more attention to. And the stunt work, by the way, has been honored with an Emmy nomination as well to do that. So having a lightsaber, I have a couple of different ones because of the technology that's involved. They sometimes put the saber in and I have a handle only. But in working with that handle, I have to remember that there's, 4.5, 5 feet more of that saber. So it's the way you handle it. So I had to practice. And sometimes I have a full saber that lights up. And I hope I'm not giving too much away in regard to the technology of it. So yes, I had to practice my moves, and it's all in the wrist to allow us to see if that saber is not there. You want to keep your wrist a certain way. So it was a bit complicated, and I have to laugh because I don't hold back. And so in some of our stunt work in this season, you are to see very soon. I think I went through, I remember the prop guy coming to me and saying, okay, so this is our last lightsaber, because you got to pull your hits. You don't want to destroy the technology, but you want it to look real. Isn't that ultimately what we want? So it was tricky and wonderful, and I had to be very attentive.
I have to stop there. I just want to say how much I loved already what I've seen of season 2 of The Boys. Obviously, huge fan of your work. Can't wait to see everything else. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you so much.